Dr. Phil McGraw had been listening to people's secrets for 30 years. 30 years of affairs, lies, betrayals, hidden addictions, double lives. He'd heard confessions that would destroy families. Seen evidence that shattered marriages. Witnessed revelations that changed everything. He'd developed a particular expression for these moments. Calm. Steady. Professional. The face of a man who'd seen it all and couldn't be shocked anymore. But that day, when he read the name on the insurance policy, that expression cracked. The guest's name was Linda. 43 years old. Married for 18 years. 2 kids. From the outside, a normal suburban family. The kind you'd see at soccer games and PTA meetings. But Linda had written to the show claiming her husband was hiding something. Something big. Something that was tearing their family apart. She couldn't prove it. Couldn't name it. Just knew something was wrong. The producers had done their homework. Financial records. Phone logs. Social media deep dives. And buried in a stack of documents they'd requested from Linda's husband Mark, they found it. A life insurance policy. Taken out 7 years ago. $500,000. Nothing unusual about that. Lots of married couples have life insurance. Except for the beneficiary line. Linda walked onto the stage to applause. She looked tired. The kind of tired that comes from years of suspicion without proof. Years of being told you're paranoid. Years of trusting your gut while everyone around you says you're crazy. She sat down. Smoothed her jeans. Looked at Dr. Phil like he was her last hope. Linda, Dr. Phil said, his voice calm and direct. You've been married to Mark for 18 years. You have 2 children together. And you're here today because you believe your husband is hiding something from you. Is that correct? Yes. Her voice was small. Uncertain. I know it sounds crazy. He's never been physically abusive. He provides for us. He shows up to the kids' events. But there's this distance. Like part of him isn't really there. And when I ask about it, he shuts down. Tells me I'm imagining things. Dr. Phil nodded. You've brought some documents with you today. Financial records. Phone bills. Can you tell me what you found? Linda pulled papers from her bag. Hands shaking slightly. There are charges I don't recognize. Transactions he can't explain. A separate bank account I didn't know existed. And when I confronted him, he said it was for work. For business expenses. But he won't show me the statements. And Mark isn't here today, Dr. Phil said. Not a question. A statement. No. He refused to come. Said this was all in my head. Said I was being dramatic. Linda's voice cracked. But I'm not crazy. I know something's wrong. I just can't prove it. Dr. Phil leaned back. Well, Linda, my team has done some investigating. And we've found some things that I think you need to see. He gestured to his producer offstage. A woman approached with a folder. Handed it to Dr. Phil. He opened it. Scanned the first page. His expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Linda, does Mark have a life insurance policy? She blinked. Surprised by the question. Yes. We both do. We took them out when the kids were born. Why? And you're the beneficiary on his policy. Of course. And he's the beneficiary on mine. That's how it works. Dr. Phil pulled out a document. Held it up so Linda could see it. This is a second life insurance policy. Taken out by your husband 7 years ago. $500,000. Did you know about this? Linda leaned forward. Squinted at the paper. No. I know. Why would he need a second policy? Dr. Phil paused mid-sentence. The studio went completely silent. He set the document on the table between them. Pointed to a specific line. Linda, look at the beneficiary designation. Linda picked up the paper. Read. Her face went pale. That's not my name. No. Dr. Phil said quietly. It's not. The audience was frozen. You could hear the ambient hum of the studio lights. The distant rustle of papers. Nothing else. Linda stared at the document. Jessica Morrison. Who is Jessica Morrison? Dr. Phil's jaw tightened. That's what we needed to find out. So my team did some digging. He pulled out another document. Jessica Morrison lives in Portland, Oregon. She's 38 years old. And according to our investigation, your husband has been sending her money every month for the past 7 years. Linda's hands were shaking so hard the paper rattled. Is he having an affair? Off camera, Dr. Phil made a choice no producer expected. He stood up. Walked to where the producers sat just off stage. The cameras kept rolling, but his voice was low. Firm. Bring him out. Now. The producer looked startled. Dr. Phil, he's not scheduled to. I don't care. Bring him out now or I'm stopping this taping. There was a moment of chaos. Whispered conversations. Rushed footsteps. And then, from backstage, Mark appeared. 45 years old. Average height. Graying at the temples. He looked confused. Angry. What's going on? Linda, what are you doing? Dr. Phil walked back to center stage. Didn't sit down. Just stood there. Holding the insurance policy. Mark, thank you for joining us. I know you didn't want to be here today. But I think it's time we had a conversation. Mark's eyes darted to Linda. To the cameras. Back to Dr. Phil. I'm not doing this. This is ambush television. I'm leaving. You can leave, Dr. Phil said calmly. But before you do, I want you to explain this. He held up the insurance policy. Can you tell me why you have a $500,000 life insurance policy with Jessica Morrison as the beneficiary? The color drained from Mark's face. That's private. You have no right. Your wife has a right to know who Jessica Morrison is. Mark looked at Linda. For the first time, something cracked in his expression. Not anger. Fear. Linda, I can explain. Then explain, Dr. Phil said. Who is Jessica Morrison? Mark stood there. Silent. The seconds stretched. 10 seconds. 20. The audience wasn't breathing. Linda was staring at her husband like she'd never seen him before. Finally, Mark spoke. His voice barely above a whisper. She's my daughter. The studio exploded. Not with noise. With shock. The kind of shock that makes people gasp and then go completely silent. Linda dropped the insurance policy. Her mouth opened but no sound came out. Your daughter, Dr. Phil repeated flatly. Yes. And Linda doesn't know about her. No. Dr. Phil's voice was ice. How old is she? Mark closed his eyes. 16. Linda made a sound. Not a word. Just a sound. Like something inside her had broken. Dr. Phil held up his hand. Linda, stay with me. I know this is hard. But we need to understand what's happening here. He turned back to Mark. You have a 16-year-old daughter that your wife doesn't know about. How is that possible? Mark sat down heavily in the guest chair across from Linda. He couldn't look at her. Before Linda and I got married, I was in another relationship. It ended badly. She was pregnant when we broke up, but I didn't know. She never told me. I moved on. Met Linda. Got married. Had our kids. And then 7 years ago, she contacted me. Jessica's mother. She said Jessica wanted to know who her father was. That she was asking questions. And she asked if I'd be willing to meet her. Linda was crying now. Silent tears streaming down her face. And you said yes. I said yes. I thought I could just meet her once. Answer her questions. Give her closure. But when I saw her, Mark's voice broke. She looked just like me, Linda. She had my eyes. My smile. And she was this sweet, shy kid who just wanted to know where she came from. I couldn't just walk away. So you've been seeing her, Dr. Phil said. For 7 years. Once a month. Sometimes twice. I told Linda I had work trips. Regional conferences. Site visits. But I was driving to Portland. Having lunch with my daughter. Going to her school events. Helping with homework. Mark finally looked at Linda. I know how this sounds. I know what I did was wrong. But I couldn't tell you. You would have left me. And I couldn't lose both of you. Linda's voice was barely audible. Both of us? You and Jessica. I couldn't lose either of you. Dr. Phil sat down. Slowly. His face was hard. Mark, let me make sure I understand. You've been living a double life for 7 years. You've been taking money out of your family budget to support a child your wife doesn't know exists. You've been lying about business trips. Missing time with your own children to spend time with a daughter from another relationship. And you've taken out a life insurance policy naming this girl as the beneficiary. Does that about sum it up? When you say it like that, is there another way to say it? Mark was silent. Dr. Phil turned to Linda. His voice softened. Linda, I need you to hear me. What Mark did wasn't wrong because he wanted to know his daughter. That part, I actually understand. A man finding out he has a child he didn't know about and wanting to be part of her life, that's human. That's even admirable in some ways. Linda looked up. Confused. But, Dr. Phil continued, his voice hardening again. What Mark did wrong was the lying. The hiding. The secret life. Because he didn't just betray you, Linda. He betrayed Jessica too. He made her a secret. He made her something shameful that had to be hidden. And he betrayed your children, who have a half-sister they don't know about. He betrayed everyone because he was too much of a coward to have an honest conversation. Subscribe and leave a comment, because the most powerful part of this story is still ahead. Mark's face had gone red. I was trying to protect everyone. You were protecting yourself. Dr. Phil shot back. You were protecting your comfortable life where you got to be a father to 3 kids without any of them knowing about each other. You were protecting your image. Your marriage. Your secrets. But you weren't protecting anyone else. The audience started clapping. Scattered at first. Then building. Dr. Phil held up his hand. No. This isn't a moment for applause. This is a moment for truth. He stood up. Walked to where Linda sat. She was staring at her hands. Tears dripping onto her jeans. Linda, look at me. She looked up. You're not crazy. You've never been crazy. Your instincts were right. There was something wrong. And now you know what it is. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Linda's voice was shaking. I don't know. That's okay. You don't have to know right now. But I want you to understand something. Mark's daughter, Jessica, she didn't do anything wrong. She's a 16-year-old kid who wanted to know her father. She's innocent in all of this. And whatever decision you make about your marriage, it can't be about punishing her. Linda nodded slowly. Dr. Phil turned back to Mark. And you? You need to understand that this isn't sustainable. You can't keep living 2 lives. You can't keep making everyone a secret from everyone else. Either you come clean, completely clean, to everyone involved, or you're going to lose all of them. But what happened next is something no one in the room, or watching at home, saw coming. From backstage, a door opened. A teenage girl stepped out. Blonde hair. Mark's eyes. She looked terrified. A woman in her 40s stood beside her. Protective. The producer who'd escorted them looked at Dr. Phil helplessly. Dr. Phil's eyes widened. Who authorized this? The producer shook her head. They showed up. They said they saw the episode was being taped and they needed to be here. Mark stood up so fast his chair nearly tipped over. Jessica? Sarah? What are you doing here? The girl, Jessica, was crying. Dad, I didn't know. I didn't know you were married. I didn't know you had other kids. Mom told me you and she broke up before I was born. She told me you didn't know about me until I was 9. She never told me you had a family. Sarah, Jessica's mother, looked at Mark with pure fury. Because you asked me not to. You said it would complicate things. You said your wife didn't need to know. You made me complicit in your lies. The studio was chaos now. Producers running between guests. The audience murmuring. Linda staring at the teenage girl who looked so much like Mark. Dr. Phil standing in the center of it all, watching a family implode in real time. He raised his hand. The studio went silent. This, he said quietly, is what happens when you build your life on lies. Everyone loses. Everyone hurts. And the people who deserve the truth the most, these children, pay the price. Mark was sobbing. Linda was frozen. Jessica stood there, a girl caught between two worlds she never knew existed. And Dr. Phil looked directly into the camera. The truth doesn't destroy families. Lies do. And today, we're watching what that destruction looks like. Share and subscribe. Make sure this story is never forgotten. 6 months later, Mark and Linda divorced. Jessica met her half-siblings. The insurance policy was changed. And Dr. Phil kept a copy of it in his office. Not as a trophy. As a reminder that secrets always come out. And when they do, everyone pays.